thank you. I'm going to back up here, take my mask off for a moment, just so that I can talk to you with the face. Then I can talk to you with my cosplay on. Hi everybody, my name is Ezra. I am from Los Angeles. I'm originally from New Jersey, so being on this side of the country feels very comfortable for me. I'm having a wonderful time here at NekoCon. You're all amazing and so friendly so far. I don't know about you, but no. So friendly. This is a workshop. This is not a panel. I am not going to be up here. This is us engaging with one another, okay? It's improv. You could insert improv for blank. It doesn't matter. It's all the same stuff. Improv for voice actors, why is that the title? Obviously, I'm a voice actor. I'm also an improv teacher. I'm also an actor, and my main form of I would say, income, that's the word. My main source of income is as a voiceover director. So I direct a lot of projects that use voiceover actors. Live action stuff, a lot of anime, as well as traditional animation stuff. That's my profession, although I still don't even consider myself a professional because that sounds too hoity-toity. I just feel like I'm an artist and that's just the jobs that I get to do every now and then, but I still have no job security in terms of financial futures. I've never worked a job that had benefits or that has a retirement plan. I've always lived like very much on the edge, and that being on the edge is also why I have been a lifelong practitioner of improvisation. That is where your creativity is always on the edge. So this workshop is going to introduce to you some of the things that you need as an improviser, which then will translate further into your work as a creative person. And that creative person could even be the creative person who works a muggle's job in a cubicle someplace, and how you can still stay vibrant, creative, alive, and not feel like, you know, the confines of the world are just crushing you. What that means is it's an active workshop. It's going to involve your participation. My goal is that it involves all of y'all's participation, but I am not in a position to make anybody feel uncomfortable or to do anything that they do not want to. So, if you feel like I would be pushing you outside of your comfort zone in an unhealthy way, sit down and watch. You can absorb a lot and you can get a lot from watching other people, as well as being entertained. But honestly, as far as this being a workshop, we're not in this workshop to entertain anyone else other than ourselves. In other words, we are always going to be our own performers, and we are going to be our own supportive audience for one another. This is a no judgment zone. This is a place where failure is written big with neon letters on the wall so that we embrace it and we get comfortable with what failure means. Because in the world of improvisation, failure is the staircase to whatever becomes success, and success is not the peak of anything, but it's a plateau space where you're like, okay, how can I continue to grow? Well, I know I'll have to go through a series of experiencing what that processing of emotions that we label as failure means, right? So it's a lot of that. It's a lot of getting comfortable with feeling awkward about trying something that's out of our comfort zone, right? And all of that translates to a voiceover artist who needs to be asked to do a series of things vocally, but it's more than just vocally, right? It's a full embodiment of your energy, of who you are, that you bring to your performance, whatever that might be. So I started my first ever voiceover job. If you were in a panel with me yesterday, my first ever voiceover job was working for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And when I was in the booth for the very first time, very scared, I had lines to do, right? Your basic Power Ranger monster lines. I was a monster, like your average monster of the episode monster. And the trick was, at some point, they say during the battle scene that happens in every Power Ranger episode, if you've ever seen them, they always sort of combine and fight the monsters, and then they all like connect together to become a Megazord, and then they fight the bigger monsters, and then they, of course, Power Rangers win, the monster somehow just like poofs away, and then everything goes back to normal, and they become kids again, and they talk about, you know, the stresses of being a high schooler. So, I was a voice of those monsters, and as my first voiceover job, I was very nervous because at one point the director said, all right, so now here's the battle scene, and really, you know, there's no dialogue that's written out for that at all. It just is like the script stops and they're like, yeah, just, the term is just play the picture. Or the other term would be just chase it, right? Those are the two terms that you would hear from me and from other voiceover directors when it's like, okay, you know, there's a fight, so just go ahead and chase it, or just play into the picture. So your eyes are on the monitor, and you see, like, you know, the monsters kind of coming at the Power Rangers, and then it cuts to the Power Rangers, and they're like, right? Then it comes back to the monster's doing its thing, picking up something, throwing it, or getting knocked down, and while you're watching it on the monitor, the actor needs to play the picture, right? So it'll be like, all that kind of crap, right? It's not written down, and then eventually, like, you know, 90 seconds later, it'll be like, oh, Power Rangers! And then you disappear, right? Classic stuff, none of that is written. By the way, I know it's early on a Saturday morning, but the same thing happens when you have a romantic scene in a live action series, a telenovela, something that we're dubbing into English, and then all of a sudden, the music goes on, and it's a whole montage of like sheets, right? And it's like, you gotta tell the actor, okay, well just go ahead and play the picture, and it's like, that kind of stuff, right? So super awkward to tell anybody that that's what they gotta do, but that's what they gotta do. Do you know what I mean? And that's all a bunch of improvisation, and all of the voice actors that I work with, including myself when I'm asked to do certain things in that position, it's like, okay, well, we know what we gotta do. We sort of, have you heard of the term of a Foley artist? Do you know what a Foley artist is? For those of you that aren't nodding, a Foley artist is they are the people that make all of the noises that you hear when you're watching a movie, like the blood splatters if it's like a zombie thing, or like, you know, bones crunching, and all that kind of like smashing, or car keys jangling, or footsteps, those kind of things. So a Foley artist does that. They play everything to picture. Nothing is written down. They'll watch something and they'll be like, okay, he opens the door slowly, so they watch it, and they go to the doorknob and the fake little door they have there, and it's all like that. So they're always improvising, and in fact, I've always felt in my heart of hearts that I would be a really good Foley artist, because I love doing that improvisation and playing to picture. The only thing that I'm not good at, excuse me, which is the part of the brain that I just don't really occupy in a really productive way, is the creative creations of what could make that noise that we can put here in a small space. Like, we can't bring a big boat in here, right? But if I have like a little bucket of water that can splatter like that, you know, my mind doesn't get creative that way. But being the artist itself, like to make the noises, the walker is what they're called, which I know it's got a zombie connotation to it, but they're called walkers. So I have always been passionate about improvisation. I continue to teach workshops around the country and internationally, well, internationally before, 2000, I was very active around the world. So it's coming to a place now where I'm able to go back out in the world. All of this is to say, I want you to participate, which means we're gonna have to get up out of our seats, put our stuff down, and kind of like occupy the vacant space in the room. If it makes you uncomfortable and you do not want to do that, I fully respect that, and you are absolutely welcome to be here, right? But the only caveat is that you are supportive that you are attentive, that you are engaging in what's happening, and that when it comes time to participate in discussion and dialogue, that you also lend your voice if you have something that you want to say or that you've observed or that you'd like to contribute to the conversation. In other words, I want you to be as present as possible, as comfortable as possible. Sounds fair? Okay, so put your belongings down, get on up. We're going to make sure that we close the door now, because we just don't want people peeking in and then walking out. That's uncomfortable. Close the door if we could. Could someone just close the door for us? And then let's take all of this space that's here. Use all of this space that's here. Yeah. Just fill it on up.
Justin, bring it back.
Fill it on up, fill it on up. You might want to take your badges off or tuck them in your pocket only so they don't flip around and cut someone's cheek. You can also use the middle space there as well. We'll use all of the space that we have here. We're going to get as creative as we can. You can fill in some of that vacant spot as well. You're all going to just for now be in your own space. Okay, so just grab some spot for yourself in the room. It can be anywhere in the room that you feel like you've got a little bit of space. It's a Saturday morning. And what we need to first do is kind of wake our bodies up a little bit, okay? So make sure you have some space from another person. And what we're going to do first is take a breath. Okay, so hands out of your pockets. Cool. Stand for a moment, and while you stand and listen to me talk, think about just grounding your body, right? Just letting your body just relax, stay awake, but just let your body relax and get heavy and feel comfortable with being in your body and letting your body have weight. I know that is a triggering sentence for some folks, but for me too. But let your body have weight, which will allow your shoulders to relax. It will allow your jaw to relax. It'll allow you to stand tall and confident, and you are exactly who you are, and today and in this moment you are 100% perfect and beautiful. So just embrace that. We're not changing anything in this moment. So what we're going to do is love it and love ourselves and just be here, okay? So I just want you to hold still and to breathe for a moment, okay? As an artist, it's important that we are in touch with our bodies and that we know that we need to use our bodies as an instrument. We also have a good understanding that it takes a long time and it's a process for us to feel comfortable in space with other people. And one of the ways that I'm going to do that is going to be sort of reminding you to please unclasp your hands from each other and let them hang by your side. And soften your knees, which will release the tension that your body is holding on to because you're feeling perhaps threatened or uncomfortable. Let your hands just stay open without flexing them. And take another breath and see if you can get comfortable with how you're standing. Great. Next, I want you to, as you inhale, lift your shoulders up to your ears, and then as you exhale, I want you to let them drop. So it'll be like so. Inhale. Exhale. Yes, indeed. Right. And whatever sensation you caught, you captured, Sakura, I want you to do it again. So inhale, breathe it in. Raise, 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 and exhale, drop them. Oh, fudge, yes. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. I'm encouraging you to do that whenever you need to do that. It's not as weird as you think. So do that. You know it made you feel good for a moment. You can always comfort yourself by taking that breath and releasing some of the tension that you have in your upper body. Now, move your weight to your favorite side, doesn't matter which, and pick up the lighter leg, and just shake it out. Now imagine your foot has like a scuba flipper on the bottom of it. And just let your ankle flap around. That's it. Shake out the leg and see if you can loosen up the meat from the bone all the way up to your tushy. Just loosen up the meat, right? Can you feel the meat kind of going? I know I can. And then put it down. Great. Go to your other side now. We're going to do the same thing. Start with your foot being a flipper. Soft knee. Shake it up, shake it up, shake it up. That's it. Loosen up the meat. Feel it shake around. You'll feel a little jiggle up towards the tush. And then let it drop on down. Very nice. Great.
a little bit of a sensation happening in the lower body, which is telling our brain to be attached to and connected with our lower body. I want you to soften your knees. I want you to hinge forward at your waist. Inhale, scoop, reach all the way up, stretch up to the ceiling. And exhale down, bring your arms down. Hinge, soft knees, scoop some earth up and reach to the sky, to the clouds. And let it down. Good. Down, hinge forward, scoop, reach all the way up, reach, and let your arms come on down. Very nice. Great. Other thing we're going to do is just gently lean to one side, straightening, stretching out one side of your body, and then bring yourself up to center. And go down to the other side as well. That's right. And come on back up again. You're doing amazing. And over to the other side. And down. And great. And come on back up again. And stay there. Awesome. Shake out your hands. So much texting, so much tension. Perhaps some of you did some driving. Loosen that up. Great, great, great. And then let's soften that up. Now the next part, we just want to put some percussion in our body. It'll infuse us. It'll invigorate us. It'll make us feel a little bit more awake. You're going to make soft fists with your hands. And you're just going to pound and punch yourself. You're not going to punch yourself so hard. You're not going to bruise yourself. Just give yourself some good, substantial punching. And wake yourself up all the way around. Right? Your shoulders, your chest, like gorillas. Yeah, move all the way down your body. Comfortably, if you can comfortably reach down towards your calf or your ankles or your foot, the back of the legs, and all the way down. You're doing so well. Good job, everybody. There we go. And then you loosen and shake it all the way out. Awesome. We're done with the warm-up. How do you feel? Let's take a big breath in. And exhale. Let's do one more now that everyone knows the rules. Inhale up, exhale. Oh my God, I love it. Oh, so good. Okay, we're done with the warm-up. That's it. Okay. Next exercise that we're going to do is so simple, very, very basic. Almost everybody who's ever done any theater class at any point has done this. So it's always good to remind yourself of this exercise. And for those of you who have done it before, there's people here who've not done it before. So we want to be good partners for all of us, okay? This is a very simple exercise that a lot of us, that artists don't really spend a lot of time with, and they think it's a little bit, I don't know, just stupid. How about that? They think it's stupid, but it is not. It's challenging. It's difficult, right? It's for some people very uncomfortable, but it won't be today. We're going to have a great time with it, okay? We're going to partner up in pairs. So find a partner. You don't need to know them. It's better if you don't know them. Just find somebody, and then go anywhere in the room with your partner. Anywhere in your room that there's a space. But you need to be standing. Go anywhere in the room. Find your own private space in the room. Go use all four corners. Use everything. I think, is this on? Check. Am I on? Okay, good. Right. So don't stay too close to anybody. You can be anywhere in this space. I really do want you to use this space. I want us as bodies to fill up this space, okay? And if you have not yet, just say hello and introduce yourself to your partner. Hello. You don't need to shake hands, of course, if that's not something you're comfortable. Okay, great. So now, this next exercise is very, very simple. Yep. It is called the mirror exercise. A mirror exercise, okay? Raise your hand if you have heard of or have done a mirror exercise before. The people have had a feeling. Okay, great, perfect. So the mirror exercise is, quite simply, you are going to imagine that you are looking in a mirror. One person is going to be the mirror, and the other person is going to be the body. Okay, so decide now with your partner, who wants to be the mirror and who wants to be the body. In other words, who wants to be the follower
And who wants to be the person leading the movement? So there's a leader and there's a follower. The mirror is the follower.
You'll be the mirror.
Okay? We got it? Everybody good? You're settled up on that? Now, make sure you are at least arm's distance away from each other. So double up your arms, make sure you're at least that far away. You want to be able to see, arms down, you want to be able to see your partner's body in your peripheral vision, like you can kind of see all of them without having to specifically scan your eyeballs up and down. You got it? Good? Okay, very, very nice. So here's what's going to happen. It should not have any noise. I understand there may be some giggling, and giggling is healthy, and giggling is welcomed, but it's not encouraged. In other words, giggling is an off-ramp to you dedicating yourself to this exercise. Giggling is a way of saying, I don't feel comfortable enough to commit right now. And it is in a way showing your partner, I can't trust myself, I can't trust you, I'm not comfortable. So giggling is normal, but what I want you to try and do for yourself, as well as for the well-being of your partner, is try and tell yourself, like, come on, let's get through this. Let me get to the next level here and not stay in a silly state. Let me see if I can be the best I can possibly be for my partner. A very important improv lesson. Be the best that I can be for my partner. And in the world of voiceover, it's how can I do the best for the project? How can I do the best for the director? Ultimately, you're really saying, how can I be the best for myself? But it helps us to put an outside source that we can like attach, like a trophy or a finish line, right? But it's always about you, always about you being your best and you being the most proud of your own work. So, here are the rules. The person who is leading, that's the person who's not the mirror. The person who is leading, it's your goal to let the person who is the mirror follow you. And the best way someone can follow you is if you are clear with your movements and if you are slow with your movements. If you all of a sudden start like doing crazy choreography and it's an advanced TikTok dance and your partner's like, I can't keep up, you're gonna lose the trust of your partner and you're going to lose what is magical about this exercise, and that is the connection that you will have with a complete stranger, hopefully. And that connection and that transference of energy that you're going to have with one another is incredibly special and should not be overlooked and should not be taken for granted. So, you don't need to know each other. You don't need to look into each other's eyes for this. I know that's an uncomfortable thing to sort of glare. I don't like it very much. Which is why, as a mirror, you can look kind of in the midsection of the person so that you can see if their head moves around. And for this, we're not going to include facial expressions because we all have masks on, right? An advanced version of this would include facial expression, right? All kinds of weird actory crap. But what I want you to do as the leader, move your arm and let your mirror follow you. It should not look like there is a delay in the movement as I watch around the room. In other words, it shouldn't be person moves the hand and then the other hand's like catching up. It should look simultaneous with one another, okay? I know it sounds super simple and it may be that I'm over-explaining, but I'm not, because these are the things that we're looking for you to connect with your partner. Here's something else that I know seems basic. Breathe. Breathe. Improvisation is stressful. You are performing without a script and without rehearsing. We rehearse in this way with exercises, but when it's time to like improvise, it's nerve-wracking. And when we feel threatened, we sometimes hold our breath. So make sure that you breathe, and I will remind you, you are very able to start and you have freedom to begin now when you're ready. So see if you can keep your body, I'll continue to talk, see if you can keep your body relaxed. Try and move slowly. Again, there's no talking amongst the partners. You wouldn't talk into a mirror about anything unless you're having a panic attack. And hopefully we're not having that right now. So nice and slow. Feel free to improvise your movement. And if you find yourself repeating my arms up, my arms down, my arms up, see if you can include a leg. See if you can include a bend in your waist or your back or your head and neck. But you want to do what you feel your partner is able and comfortable in doing. And I'm going to let you go on for approximately just 40 seconds more, just so that you can see what this feels like. And breathe. And go slower than you're going. And see if you can relax your body. And see if you can connect with your partner. Keep your eyes open. You don't have to have a fixed stare on each other. Keep your eyes open because you want to make sure your partner's following you. And you want to make sure you're properly following your leader. You have a responsibility, both of you. You're responsible for being a good leader, and you're responsible for following what your leader is doing. It's a partnership dynamic. Go slower, rock, paper, scissors, go slower. I see you, I'm watching everybody. I am invested in your experience. I'm watching you all. Continue to breathe. See if you can take a relaxing breath, the kinds that we did during our earlier warm-up. I'll give you 10 more seconds, and then we'll bring this in for a landing. Slow it down. And now come to a place where you and your partner have an understanding that you are stopping at the same time. Cool? Great. Thank your partner. Thank your partner. Thank your partner. You don't have to touch them. You don't have to. Stay with your partner. Stay with your partner. Great. I love the immediate chatter. I love that. That is a response for me conducting this that says there was somewhat of a positive experience that happened. So would anyone like to shout out and contribute what you experienced in the dynamic with your partner? If you don't want to, you don't have to, but if you felt something and you want to share it for us to benefit from that experience, now is an opportunity. Anybody? Yes?
So what I noticed as I was doing is that at first I was in my head like, okay, I'm a big shot actor. I'm gonna see all I can do is alright. Then I was like, okay, let's let go of those thoughts.
Yeah.
Let's focus. And what I realized as I was doing it, I focused much more on the upper body than I did the lower body. When I was getting to the lower body stuff, I was doing something that was a little bit delayed. But once I realized, hey, that's something that I'm not focusing on, let's try to focus a bit more on that, then we were a bit more in sync.
Beautiful. Great. Thank you. Yes, yes.
I feel like I realized I was going a little too fast with the motions for the mirror, so I was trying to slow down.
Did you feel that as his partner? Did you?
I always feel like I was focusing on the wrong thing. So like, he had his hand down already, and I still had my hand down looking at his other hand.
Okay. Right. That's a part where if you're being like too specific with things, then your partner then has to hyper focus on little areas and not take the full picture in. But did he make an adjustment for you?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Excellent job. And we'll take one more comment. Yeah.
So aside from the fact that I really need to work on my leg strength, you definitely. So in this situation, I was the leader, and you do kind of feel a sense of you want to do right by the person who
You have a responsibility. You feel that responsibility.
Yeah, you have all that responsibility. You want to make sure you're trying to do it right, and that can elevate the stress a little bit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, okay, so that can elevate the stress. I like that point, and I just want to comment on it before we move on. And that is, improvisation is stressful. Going into a creative work environment, going into an audition is stressful, right? And what this workshop will kind of illuminate a little bit for us is, all right, I can feel myself get stressful. How can I tell myself to relax when I am identifying within myself that I'm getting anxious or stressful? Because I know I'm safe, obviously, we're saying, I'm watching out for you, but we're also in a safe environment here, like physically, nothing's threatening us. So why am I getting so anxious about things, right? Can I calm myself down? I know the job is at stake. I know I want to do my best. I know I want to get the job. But how can I calm myself down so I can actually do my best? Okay, thank you for all of your comments. I appreciate it. What we're going to do now, switch. So the person who is the leader is the follower. Person who, right, for everyone else, you're just going to reverse the roles. We also got a really great comment, which is, I wish I had better leg strength. So that really speaks to, don't do anything super challenging. The exercise is challenging enough. We don't have to go straight crane kick from the Karate Kid. All right? So just go nice and easy. Keeping fluid movement is challenging enough. And you may begin whenever you're ready. You see where your partner is. Connect with your partner. Look and breathe. And just slowly move. Slowly move with them. See what that provides. I'm going to have less talking through, less side coaching, as the term is called, so that I can give you some privacy and you can make a deeper connection with your partner. Again, a gentle reminder to breathe and to slow down. Slow down. Whoa, whoa. See if you can slow down even more. And for those of you that want to take it to expert level, see if you can slow it down to where it almost feels like it's predictive movement between you and your partner. Where you are leading, but are you really, or are you both moving together? And if you slow down enough and really commit and connect with your partner, you may feel that synergy with each other. In improvisation, it's referred to as the group mind, where you all just understand what's going to happen next. You don't plan it, and then you're absolutely amazed. And breathe, look at each other. Again, don't make extended eye contact, but just make occasional eye contact, just so your partner knows what you are investing in this experience with them. We'll go for about 40 more seconds. And breathe, make yourself relax and calm. Very nice work, everybody. And I'll give you about 10 more seconds. And within this time frame, you and your partner can find a way to bring it into a landing. Great. Great. Give yourselves a round of applause. Very nice. I have been in situations where I felt a connection with a stranger and it was over with and I kind of wanted to just hug them a little bit. So if you feel that your partner's comfortable and you have consent with each other, you want to give a hug, that's fine, because who does that, right? There you go. You certainly don't have to. Okay. All right, now I'm going to give you 10 seconds to find a new partner in a different part of the room. Go now. 9, 8, 7, 6, hurry. 5, 4, find a new partner. 3, 2, and 1. Great. What a fail. What a fail. Look at that. We were almost there. Okay, great. This one's gonna be a little bit of a cluster F. Just a little bit. That's what's fun about it. This one is involving very mild touching. Very, very mild. We're talking just hand on elbow touching, okay? If you wanted to engage more than that, you can in terms of like holding arms or linking arms. But if you're not comfortable with that, then you're invited to just sit down and watch. This is a trust exercise. We're going to do a trust walk.
Okay.
Okay? A trust walk. And then the next thing that we're going to do after this is we're going to actually get into some scene stuff here, okay? But I do want you to experience what this is like, to put yourself in a very responsible position and to allow yourself to be in a very vulnerable position. This was going to be rough with your... Okay, you'll figure it out though. I know you'll figure it out. So one person will have their eyes closed, the other person will be the leader, okay? So very much like somebody who does not have sight, you would hold onto their elbow, or they would hold onto your elbow or forearm or bicep, whatever's comfortable, and you're going to lead that person around. Again, like with the mirror exercise, if you move too fast, you're going to make the person without sight feel very uncomfortable. Your job as the leader is to make your partner feel comfortable, which means you're going to need to over-communicate to them, which for me, clearly, as you can tell, is not a problem.
Yeah.
But for a lot of people, it's a huge challenge. It's a huge challenge to find and use your voice, right? It's also something that we're not really aware of, which would be, how does another person feel? How can I help another person feel more comfortable, right? And the person with their eyes closed is incredibly uncomfortable. Take it from me every time I do this exercise. So if you're uncomfortable, keep your eyes closed. Please do the best that you can to commit to having your eyes closed and never opening them up for a quick peek to just make sure you're okay for you. All right? I'm challenging you and encouraging you to stick with this. If it does trigger anything that's negative for you, please don't do the exercise. I want you to have a great weekend. I don't want you to start your morning off feeling kind of weird, okay? So know yourself and know what's comfortable for you. So, one person who was able to be the leader is going to walk that person around, and I really want you to make an obstacle course for you.
That's me.
Okay? We've got chairs. I want you to experiment with sitting down.
Yeah.
And then
I want you to experiment with maybe finding where the door is. I want you to experiment with maybe even opening up the door for a second in the hallway and coming back in. You feel there's doors everywhere, so we don't have to keep it all to one door, right? Be mindful of the YouTube camera in the back. Be mindful of the video projector that's here, and be mindful of the, you know, the expensive obstacles. I don't care if you knock over the chairs. I do not want anybody who has their eyes closed, I don't want anybody to hit their shin on a chair. So leaders, be mindful, be cautious, be responsible, and see what it's like to receive that level of trust and feel what it's like to be in a position of great honor as a leader, okay? Likewise, for those of us that are control freaks a little bit, feel what it's like to let go of some control, which is super hard. Super hard, I know. But it is a trust exercise. And for you, who is a leader, to a stranger, for them to put a high degree of trust in you because control is an issue for them, that's massive. So please treat this with respect. It'll only be for about 3 minutes, and then we'll switch. Okay? I want you to have at least 3 minutes because I do want you to explore. I just don't want you to like walk around in a circle in the open space. That's no fun for the person with their eyes closed. Okay? I want the person with their eyes closed to go through whatever process they need to. You can come up on the stage. On the stage. Anything that you do that looks like it's advanced is more advanced than you realize. Okay? Especially going down steps. I know you can do it. Maybe not all of you, but if you want to, you can. Don't let your partner in any way feel like they don't know what they're doing. Okay? Over-communicate. We're about to hit the steps. We're about 1 step away from the steps. Okay, stop. We're at the steps. Move your right foot forward. Don't go fast. Do you feel where the step is? Okay. Put your foot up on the step. Now lean your weight forward. I'm talking over-communicate. right? It's like when you were in 5th grade and your teacher was like, give me step-by-step instructions on how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And you're like, oh wow, I left out so many steps, right? All right, have fun, close up one eye, let your partner know, get comfortable with how you're going to lead the other person. This will be a noisy one. There's a lot of chatter in the room. Overly communicate. And if you leave the room, make sure you come back into the room. And if you bump into another partner, just make sure that they're there. And you know that you're passing by another partner.
We're gonna keep going. We're walking in front of the camera. We can even wave in front of the camera.
Like 2 steps, take a 90-degree turn to the right.
Take a left here.
Everybody's doing great. Love the communication. Try and feel and read how your partner without sight is moving. If their body feels tense, they are uncomfortable. See if you can let your partner feel as comfortable as possible.
All right, go come up to the wall.
Great job, everybody. Check in with your partner, make sure they're feeling okay. Keeping your eyes closed, you're doing wonderful. You can also let your partner know your name. You can let your partner know who you are, what you're about. Let your personality come out here. We do have a parade up on the stage. Everyone wants to be trying the steps. Very nice work, everybody.
Let's start to move towards the
Good job over the power cord. Good job, Hello Kitty. Hold still, Hello Kitty. Don't move. Don't move. Stay.
You want to try messing with doors or?
Okay, everybody, stay where you are. Keep your eyes closed if they're closed. Stay where you are. Keep your eyes closed if they're closed. Don't talk. Take a, we're stopping. Hold on. I'm stopping, partner. Stop right there. Hold them right there. Take a breath together. If your eyes are closed, keep them closed. Okay. And now you can open up your eyes and find out where you are in the room. Sorry, partner. Okay. All right. And then, real quickly, before we switch, does anyone want to contribute what you experienced or what you observed in doing this exercise?
There are really cool points that with holding each other, that's another way to figure out where you're trying to go.
How do you mean? With holding each other, that's the way you can figure out?
While he was leading me time to time, I could feel, based on how he moved,
which way he was trying to go. More often than not, I turned before he told me to, because
Yeah.
I could feel he was turning.
Right. That's the connection. That's amazing with partners. That's all. Are you strangers to each other?
Yeah.
So as you would continue to show up to improv classes, since you had that, and that's an unspoken language, that's just an unspoken connection, that creates a bond between the two of you that will most likely continue to nurture a friendship where you have this synergy with one another. When you're on stage, you'll be like, oh, we get each other. And for no other reason other than just connection. You can build relationship, obviously trust. You have a feeling of innate trust with this partner already. Like, I can sense where you're going. Like, we're already speaking a language, but we're not speaking at all, right? Which is why an exercise, a trust exercise like this is really important. It also works in the other direction, my friends. You go like, I'm really creeped out by you. There's an energy about you that's not comfortable with my energy. And that's valuable too, right? I know it's like, it sounds kind of funny because it sounds kind of bad, but it's not bad, it's truthful. It's truthful to your instincts, it's truthful to your gut, right? You're like, I just don't have, and you don't need to force that connection. What you can do is continue to be cordial and continue to work well, but you're like, you and I just don't. We just don't, right? It just happens sometimes. You know what that's like. That was like in the classroom. You're forced to be students with other people, and there's certain people in the classroom where you're like, I don't like you. And you didn't do anything to me, I just don't like you. I don't like you. And yes, I can invest further in who you are, and we can find the nugget that might combine us, but then ultimately what's gonna happen is, I knew it, I don't like you. And you should be okay with that, because there's plenty of people in the world that you do like, right? You don't need to be spending time on making things that aren't working for you kind of instinctively or naturally. It's just too much of your energy. So switch with your partner now. We're gonna roll reverse. Are you able to step out of your chair? Then no. All right, so now you got your partner. You may begin. We'll give 3 minutes on the clock. Try and do some fun things that you felt was fun when your eyes were closed. Let's roll reversal. And you may begin whenever you're ready. Just remember, start slowly at first. It's really difficult for the person who chose to be the leader to now have their eyes closed. They also feel like they might be punished for what they did to you.
There are people coming straight towards us, so
I encourage you to go out into the hallway, walk around a little bit so you can feel the energy of the space outside versus the comfort of the energy of this space in here. And we can keep walking. And how when we walk into different environments, how we can definitely be attuned to and receptive to the energy of the environment that we step into. So find one of these doors and go out. And if they lock behind you, just knock and I'll open them up. Good job.
Left foot. Right hip. Out. Right.
Just go slowly. All right. Excellent. Excellent job. Everyone's giving such wonderful direction. Make sure you're not going too fast for your partner. Going fast doesn't mean you're doing it better. Tricky spots. Go slowly, go slowly.
All right.
Go slowly.
We're about 3/4 of the way down.
All right, walkers, you have a task. I want you to take your partner and find a seat someplace in the middle of the seating areas. So you're not allowed to sit on the aisles or in the front or back row. So take your partner and seat them. Once your partner to comfortably sit down,
We are going to turn 90 degrees to the right.
open up your eyes.
We're going to start. We're going to take one side step to the left. Okay, so no saying. And we we'll hit that.
Bring your partner into the middle of the seating area.
Forward, right, left, out.
Carefully move them into the seat.
One side to the left. And up.
Good move. Sit down with your partner. Yeah, sit down.
Walk straight. I'll take you to the other end of the room.
There we go. I moved my back now. Sit down now.
Once you find yourself seated, please refrain from talking, just so that we can hear the rest of the partners navigate.
I'm sorry.
Okay, we still have a couple partners still working, so we'll just refrain from talking for a moment, just so that they can find their spot. And then sit down with your partner. You can open up your eyes and give yourselves a round of applause. Very, very well done. All right, so we had a lot of different techniques. It was really wonderful to watch. What was your experience leading and or following? Yes.
I found myself
Hyper-focused on when your eyes were closed. And what did you experience with that observation?
It was actually barely very quick. Everyone else was like a kid muffling, but it was actually
Did you enjoy it, or was it complicated?
really fun.
Really fun, great, excellent, yes.
Actually, had the opposite happen.
You just took in all the noise. And how did that manifest in completing the exercise?
It definitely tried to more focus on his voice.
Uh-huh. Were you able to, or was it too complicated?
I was able to, but it's like, oh, all this noise. How do I block out all this distraction?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And let's assume for a moment you're on stage and it's time to come out with your friends to perform. And how do you block out all that noise of the audience, right? Of the reality of the performance that's happening. Or you're going in to, like I said, to audition in front of somebody, or to even work and the job that you finally booked that you have so much value attached to. How do you block out all that other stuff and really focus on the things that you need to do and hopefully accomplish them in a relaxed and successful way? It's the exercise that makes you stronger, that allows you to become successful at completing those tasks. So for you to have that exercise today, I hope was a valuable experience. Because, you know, we are very rarely given a venue where we can exercise in this way. Improv does that a lot, which is why I always tell anybody who, I told Connor, in fact, yesterday, we had a wonderful interview for Culture Slate, his YouTube channel, right? YouTube channel?
It's an online magazine.
And no one cares. Okay, so listen, I'm just joking, I'm just trying to save some time. But yeah, online magazine. He had asked me yesterday, we had an interview, and he's like, what's some of the advice that you would give an up-and-coming voiceover artist? I said, well, it's the same advice I give everybody in anything that they do, and that is to improvise, to get in an improv class or an improv workshop, because this is an opportunity for you to exercise those things that are muscles and tools that we need as human beings to feel comfortable so that our best is able to show. And if our best isn't showing, we're probably not happy, right? So, and it also gives us laughter, like it's fun, it gives us human connection, right? It takes us out of a screen, it takes us away from a book, it takes us eye-to-eye contact with another person, and that exchange of energy that I was talking about, which honestly is delightful. It is delightful. And I can really see how humans, not everybody, but a majority of humans like human interaction, right? And we like to be out of our rooms now and out of our homes and be with other people other than the people that we were living with. And be like, wow, I get an energy exchange from you. And it's very, very important. Any other comments? So thank you for that. That was a really valuable comment. Yes?
She did a fantastic job, but I think the scary thing is just not being able to visualize anything. So you don't know where you're hitting something square in the face. And so what she did is she kind of helped me she described the room using all different types of senses. So she'd be like, move forward, there's an hour forward, take a really big step, or you're about to hit the door, put your hands out, put your hands down, you can feel the metal bar, now you can.
Right on. Yeah, step by step is comforting. Yeah. And specific, being very, very specific. Nicely done. Good work with the partner, because you had an extra obstacle there. Not only are you in a wheelchair, but you also have a danger zone because you have a recovering foot that is kind of exposed and should not get touched. You know, so good work, good partnering there with each other. Everybody did a really nice job. Yeah.
Went really well, but at the same time, I have to say, it's amazing how focused you can get onto the sound of a drill sergeant's hay fever.
I heard it.
It's like it's built to respond to that.
I heard it, especially if that's something that you already have history and experience with. But yeah, let's talk about this couple for a moment. The two of you as you were paired up. It wasn't towards, I didn't hear it the first round, I only heard it the second round, I think when you were the leader. What is your name?
My name is RJ.
RJ.
Yeah.
So RJ, when you were leading, I heard through the progression of time, you sort of took on the cadence of, steps.
And all that.
What's that?
About to the left, right.
Left, right, step. I heard all of that, which was, it looked like Adrian was very receptive to that, your partner, who's cosplaying as Adrian. It looked like you were very receptive to that, like your body found rhythm, you liked the assertive, very clear tone, and the two of you, they had their own thing going because you created your own thing. Did that happen organically? Like, did that naturally happen?
More or less, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
just in my life, I've kind of learned that sometimes when you need, well, I'll say, when you want to make sure, when you want to, sorry. Because I'm trying to say this without sounding too controlling.
You can sound however you want, just say what you want.
Yeah, but just the fact that when mixed with like being a military brat and also performing in music theater in high school, you learn that like you can really grab the attention when you're the last one in the room. So that's what I was trying to incorporate, like when I was trying to lead Adrian here along. And what I'll say, the agency just felt like the best for me. 'Cause at the end of the day, while the movements themselves, like the direction is random, the movements, there's rhythm, there's beat,
right?
There's a hum you have to find, and usually with cadences, it's the best way to do it,
Yeah.
in my experience.
Yeah, and it was very successful, the two of you. It looked like there was trust, there was comfort, and there was also success in, manipulating around the room. So it was.
I also made sure that they were okay with it the entire time.
Great.
Every time I made sure that they were good. I wasn't too loud, being forceful.
Yeah, very nice. But that was also pulling your ear a little bit, huh? Because you could hear the cadence, and you're like, oh, wait, what's going on over there?
But it's still fun because we both wanted to try to do advanced stuff. So.
Yeah. There were some people that were doing some very tricky moves up here. It was very, very fun to watch. And everyone feel okay? You feel safe about the experience? It was okay? Anyone else want to contribute? One last thing, I
found that it was a lot harder to be a leader than it was a follower. I personally found that it's a lot easier to place my trust in people than it has people place their trust in me.
Okay.
So actually having to be the one leading somebody around and making sure that they are staying safe and staying both within their own comfort zone and out of harm's way from other people, I found to be very taxing and very challenging.
Yeah. These are difficult roles. These are the most common roles that people play into, leader-follower, right? And it's great if you can balance yourself with both roles. You don't have to be an expert leader or expert follower, even though we do tend to be one or the other. It's nice for us to balance a personality where when you're needed to, you can lead with comfort, and when you're needed to, you can follow with comfort. Because what tends to happen is something very common that happens in improvisation, and that is conflict. Conflict. You're creating conflict, and conflict creates resistance, and then when that happens, there's breakage, and then of course you can lose trust. It is helpful to have conflict in a scene because it makes it interesting and dynamic, and it grows. And we want to see conflict in a scene, but moreover, we want to see resolution. So I don't want to none of us wants to watch a scene of people just fighting. That would be conflict. We don't want to just see an argument back and forth. What we do want to see is an argument. Okay, we relate to arguments, we relate to conflict, but we also want to see how are you going to resolve that. And once you resolve that, we want to see how that's changed you and how you move forward. That's what that's like the shape, the map of an improv scene would be, right? Partners kind of get along at first, things are going great. Oh no, there's a little bit of conflict. Hey, I saw you dating my girl, what's up? Whatever, all that kind of stuff, right? And then that kind of thing, and then it kind of like builds to, two rams bashing horns against each other. And then one goes, oh, well, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that to you, that was wrong. Or it's okay, you know what, I appreciate your honesty, and maybe I was acting out of line, and blah, blah, blah. And then the two of you get together, and then we have a bromance out of it, you know what I mean? So all of that kind of stuff, that's the architecture, right? That's the blueprint of most successfully executed scenes, right? Get along, taste of conflict, deep into conflict, find a resolution, and then have that pattern grow from there and then start all over again. But we want to find a balance where we're comfortable with being a leader and being a follower so that we don't get that really dangerous level of conflict where all of a sudden resentment builds because you are a follower normally, and now you're in a position where you have to all of a sudden lead, and then you feel like no one trusts you. Or vice versa, you're a natural born leader, and now somebody is asking you to become a follower, and then you get resentful, and you're like, I can do everything better than this. You know what I mean? Those are damage, those are like career-breaking things that happen. So you want to find that level of balance. All right, let's go back to the world of the convention. Let's go and have an amazing time and fan out and meet up with friends and eat terrible chicken nuggets and all that kind of stuff that happens at a convention. But before we leave this incredibly sacred space that we all created together, and I'm so appreciative of, one thing, I definitely want to get a picture with whoever wants to be in a big group picture with me, but moreover, I want to find out, what did you get from this, other than a nice snack? Which I'm so happy that you were peaceful.
I was having fun just listening.
Yeah, there was beautiful energy in this space. I want to find out what you...
It's really interesting because on certain spots, you could hear someone either go, can I pull this off, like mentally, because you hear their voice,
right?
Or you heard the frustration of, are you kidding me?
Yeah, there was a lot going on.
For me, it was just more fun to listen.
I'm glad, that's what I was saying. For those that wanted to participate, you'll get something out of it, and for those that want to sit and observe and watch, you'll get something out of it, right? But everybody really did bring their best to this space, and I'm so grateful for that. It really felt like it was welcoming and it was nurturing, and that's super important for me. RJ?
It was good. It was good for a good remembrance. I haven't done something in a long time. So good to remember that at the end of the day, that like being a performer, like wanting to like that, communicating with people around you is a very important deal. Like you can't, despite like you have stars and stuff like this, like they only work so well as people they bounce off of and vice versa. And apparently military raising is quite a long way to help them.
Yeah, there's a lot of benefit. A lot of benefit there. Yes.
There we go.
I thought it was really exciting how we basically just turned complete strangers into people that we trusted, and I have a hard time doing that with like people I know.
Right.
So that was a really fun exercise to just kind of like step outside of like the control of my mind and just kind of give it to somebody else.
Amazing. Well, I don't want to be a person to say, now go and do that in the real world. Because you can't. There's weirdos out there. Right? And you probably don't trust those weirdos for good reason.
If you find an improv group, you might be able to pull it off.
For sure in an improv group. Yeah, but I'm talking about like the general public, like not even at this convention. You know, the real world, right? But for you to experience that, right? For you to allow yourself, which is immense, for you to say, I'm going to try this, and I'm going to open myself up, and I'm going to see what trusting is like, is incredible. And I'm so happy to hear that comment. Thank you for sharing that. Anybody else? Yes?
Very bad fear. It's like terrifying to me. Walking down the street in the dark.
Oof. Yeah. It's scary to walk downstairs in the dark. And you did it?
Yeah.
Did you survive?
I did survive.
Oh my gosh, that's great news. Congratulations. Oh my goodness. You know why you survived? You had an excellent partner. You had a partner who really cared about doing the best that they could for that exercise, and also felt responsible to care for you. And we don't have, I mean, sometimes, unfortunately, sometimes we live in households where we don't have people that care for us. We don't know what feeling cared for is like, which is sad. But that doesn't mean that's where all of your life lives. There's other people, and you can find that love and that care from an extended outside of your home family. And still give you very rewarding relationships, maybe even more so than the family you were born into. So I'm glad you got that. Yes. Anyone else? Anything else? Great, then let's take a big picture for those that want to be in it. Just come and gather around here. I'll get my camera on selfie mode. We'll take it and then I'll show it to the convention. And if you had fun, if you felt like this was a workshop that gave you some value of your weekend and you want to mention it to NekoCon, this is my first time here and I'd love to come back. So let them, thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you. So please let me know. Let's see here. Still learning. Oh. No way. This is way more fun. This is way. There's way more people. Hold on. There we are. Squeeze in. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Say cheese.